Welcome back to Save the Good Girl. I am your host, Erica. And if you are new, welcome. Have a seat. Let's get acquainted. We're going to get to know each other. And if you are a returning listener, welcome back, my love. We are going to really talk about the fact that racism still exists. Racial inequalities are still live and well and kicking. There are so many different ways and avenues to discuss this particular topic. And I really wanted to address this because as an African American woman, there are a lot of things that I'm seeing that people are doing, whether it's donating, posting, marching, protesting, you name it. And I think all of these ways are phenomenal to really get our voices heard, and it really helps to amplify our voices and also have our allies who are with us as well. And I love that. But I really wanted to talk about what can we really do after the march? And I wanted to highlight the fact that people think that you need to have a big platform or be this influential person to really see and affect change. And that's not the truth. So in this episode, we are going to talk about what can you really do after you donate, after you have protested, after you have marched, after you have posted on social media. What can you really do afterwards to have a long-lasting effect to slowly dismantle the idea of all of the racial issues that we have? I mean, it's still going to be present, but there are certain things that we can do today to really help slow that progression. Let's talk about it. Speaking on this topic is a very wide topic. There are many different ways to go about this, and I just wanted to note that I know that there's a lot of extensive conversations. I know that there's systematic racism. I know that there's a lot of things that have prevented, especially the African American community, to advance. And I know that. But in this particular episode, I am focusing on something else that we can really do to further the conversation. And with my podcast being Save the Good Girl, it's really focusing on, if we continue to work on ourselves, the lasting effect that it really, really can have on other people. However, there are many different podcasts that explores this topic on a deeper level. I know that Angela Rye has a podcast. I know Amanda Seals has a podcast. There's a lot of commentary from a lot of different people that can give you an extensive view, because if I really wanted to go in on this topic, I would have to create a whole other show because there's so much to talk about. And I wanted to really start this conversation by discussing how important representation is. Yep, this is where I want to start. How important representation is. It is vital. I have allergies, guys. I'm sorry if you hear me clear my throat. It's allergies. Okay. As a child, there's a lot of different roles. You have the doctors, you have the teachers, you saw police officers, you saw firemen. You have a very limited view of what opportunities are out there or what you can really do when you grow up, when you're a child. Very limited view. And I have a lot of great heroes in my life. My mother and my father is definitely, top of the list. But when I was younger, my first opportunity was given by a wonderful, phenomenal woman named Ms. Brown. And what happened was, she was my friend's mother, and they needed assistance at the supermarket to bag bags. And I think I was 14 at the time, if I'm not mistaken. So, she took us to work to bag the bags. And I think I believe we worked there for 2 weeks, and then we went to the corporate office. And she was the first woman that I've ever seen in a position of power in the corporate world at 15. My parents were blue collar workers. I was used to the whole teachers and firefighters and all of that. But when it came to the corporate world, that was my first engagement, my first interaction of seeing a woman in power like that, because she was the controller for this company. She was the big boss. And seeing how she worked, seeing her power, seeing all of that from that age, I knew that one day I can do that as well, because I saw it all the time. I saw it every day. And in addition to working closely with her, we had the chance to see how she managed and see how she navigated and really see how she was able to really control her work and just how hard she worked. And I used to say, Miss Brown, you never take lunch, because of course we used to be hyped for lunch, right? Like once lunch break is around, it's like, all right, gotta go to lunch. What am I gonna eat? Like that's the whole thing of the day. And she never took lunch. And I'm like, what's wrong with her? Like, how do you not take lunch? And but she was the first woman that I saw in a position of power in a corporate world. She was the first woman that I saw in that type of level where she managed like over 20 people, over 20, 30 people, and everybody had to go through her and things had to get approved by her. So me seeing that she's a boss, and the fact that we lived, 2 blocks away from each other. So she would take me to work, and I just felt so high, because I'm like, I'm rolling with the big dog. You know what I mean? Like, don't mess with me. And it's like she gave me that opportunity, and I don't think she even understood the magnitude of how huge that was, because we went there to do like work for the weekends and stuff like that. It was a great job that I had during high school. It was also a job that I continued to have when I graduated college, until I got my first job in corporate America. The reason why this is so significant to me is because I knew that I could be that one day. I saw that. I saw that representation from a very, very young age. And there's a lot of people in high school that don't have that sort of connection to be that close to someone who is in the position of power like that. So even when we were in a car, we would have conversations with her, getting advice. And I remember one time, we were like, me and my friend Rachel, we were like laughing in the kitchen one time, and she came up to us like, is this a comedy show? Or are you at work? And I'm like, oh, Rachel, oh my God, like jumping around like, we're about to get in trouble, because she did not play, but she was very inspiring to me. It was a very inspiring time in my life. So fast forward of me graduating college, me trying to navigate this world. And she also taught us that it's not going to be easy. So I never had this idea of, oh, I'm going to graduate and it's going to be amazing, or life is going to be easy. She always made that clear to us. So in addition to having my parents as my backbone, seeing her in that corporate sector really pushed me to different heights. So now here I am. I did internships when I was in college. I had my first job in corporate America. I hated it. Um, and I continued to work really hard. And I was confused when I was in college. I was undecided to the point where my university said, listen, if you don't pick a major, we're going to kick you out. So I had no choice but to find something. I finally decided with communications and marketing. And then I started working in corporate America, didn't like that. And at that point, I was trying to find my voice. I was trying to find my way. And I didn't know what to do. So what happened was, I was kind of thinking about what I liked, and I kind of stumbled upon working at Bloomingdale's as a personal shopper assistant, because I loved fashion. I loved shopping. I was like, oh, let me start there. And that's when I realized that I had this love for being around the music and the life and all of that. And the corporate sector wasn't really for me. So fast forward for that. I had my experience with that. And then from there, I went to Nordstrom. I worked in the wedding suite industry. And then from there, I went back to advertising agency and tried that again and realized, I really don't like it. And then after that, I worked for a Canadian-based company as a store manager. And from a store manager, I grew from a store manager managing like dual locations. Then dual locations became a district manager. Then a district manager finally got promoted to be the regional manager, controlling all of New York. So I became that woman. I became the woman that I saw. And I had no idea, from 15 years old, that I would be that woman one day. And when I would see Ms. Brown, I told her, okay, now I understand why you didn't take lunch, because I was in that role and I got it. And I was like, oh, this is why. Being in that position of power, and being the woman who, first of all, I was the first Black woman that they had in that position of power, the first Black woman to be the regional for this company. And what happened was I would have interviews because I have to hire people and make sure that my stores were good and hire people. And because I was so fast paced, I would hire people, but it was always so unique when I was interviewing, my Black people, my African American people. It was so different because when they would see me, I have a very unique name, right? With my name, you can't tell if I'm Black, white, you don't know what I am. So when they would come in and they would see me, the look on their faces when they would see me, how proud they were. And I've heard this all the time, like, oh my gosh, you're Erica. You're the one, you manage all of this. So all of this is under you. Like, it was just a shock. And I think after that, what it did do was it really motivated them to want to work for the company even more because they knew that they would be working under me. And I've heard so many people say, like, I want to learn from you. I want to do this one day. And, they're working for Louis Vuitton or whatever the case is, and they wanted to be that. And I think during the time of me being in that role, I also didn't understand the magnitude of my role until after I left. And I didn't realize how powerful that was. And they were just so happy to see me because representation is so vital. It's so vital because I was in the position to afford opportunities for other people. I was in the position to coach and guide other people. I had the power to ensure that my teams were diversified, and it was. It's not like, oh, if you're Black, I'm just going to give you a chance. I made sure that the Black people were represented, Asian people were represented, Spanish people were represented, and also, white people as well. Like, I wanted to have a diversified front, and I did. And my company trusted me so much with that. They trusted me so much. So I knew that I had that power to really amplify that, right? And like have that, universal, just diverse team, which is what I wanted. And that's what I wanted to see. That was my main goal. And why am I sharing this? Because it is so important not to give up. I have been unemployed. I have been confused. I had no idea what I wanted to do. But one thing about me, I never gave up. And it is vital that you don't give up as well. I don't care what your position is. I don't care if you're an intern. I don't care if you're a college student listening to this. I don't care if you are decided not to go to school and do a trade. I don't care what you decide. It is vital for you to keep going. And even if you are not an African American or a minority, if you are an ally, it is vital for you to understand the importance of having a diversified team, because I truly believe that we truly have to work together. Like, this is not like, oh, I'm over here, you over here. I understand that's how the world wants it to be, but that's not what it is. It is so vital to not give up. Because when you are in that position of power, I have friends who are controllers, I have friends who are working for, Google and Amazon and all these big companies, and their VPs and their directors and their senior this and senior that. And they might not think like, oh, I'm just here for this company, I'm just that for that company. No, because when that person walks through the door and they see someone that looks like them, let me tell you something, no matter what position you are in, it eases them. They have a sense of like, someone that looks like me. You know what I mean? So it's so important that you continue to fight for your raise. You continue to fight for that promotion. You need to be seen. It is not about you. I encourage my friends all the time. When my friends get promoted, guess what? So did I. When my friends decide to do their own business, yes, I want you to be a multi-million-dollar business person. I want you to be successful. I want that to happen, because when you are successful, you can provide an accurate blueprint. Here's the thing about a blueprint. Sometimes people do blueprints on assumptions. They like to map things out based on what they think versus things on what they know. So it is vital to have you be a lawyer. It is vital to have you be a nurse, to be a doctor, to be a chef, to be a makeup artist, to do nails, to sell items, whatever it is you want to do. That is vital to see that. Representation is vital, because once you have gone through those hurdles, you can now be the voice. We are all teachers and students simultaneously. Everybody is a teacher. Everyone is a teacher. And a way for us to continue to do things after the march after the posting, after all these things, is to really work on ourselves. And this is exactly why I started this podcast in the first place, because we don't realize how much power we have as a people, as a group. We do not realize that there is a lot of power within you, and you have the opportunity today to change that. Do you know how many people I've hired? And even now, how many people I have hired and that I have helped, and they have told me thank you and oh my gosh, you're inspiration. And people who I've hired years ago who didn't even work for the company, who still utilize me as an inspiration. And my inspiration came from Ms. Brown. Right? So it passes down, because now the next person, they're going to be like, Erica inspired me, and they're going to be an inspiration for someone else. It is so vital that we do not give up. It is so vital that, yes, you do study the extra day. You do study the extra hour. You are going to be tired. You are going to fail. You may have moments of unemployment. You may have moments where financially you don't know what the hell is going on. Yes, that's going to happen. You may be confused in your career. You may be confused because your parents wanted you to do this, and you want to do that. Whatever it is vital to have representation. Super, super vital. Because when you do that and you have made it and you can give an accurate blueprint, and I want to make that clear about the accurate blueprint. When someone is saying, I want to be a lawyer, and now you're a lawyer, you have went to law school, you have passed the bar, you have had internships, you have connections, and now you can bring the next person in. Now, if somebody tells me, well, Erica, I want to be a regional, do you have advice for me? Do you have tips? I can tell you exactly what you need to do to be a really great, successful regional at that. Not trying to toot my own horn, but toot, right? Because assist was, okay? Assist was, there's proof behind that in the numbers, right? So it's like, you want to have that. You want to talk about how to negotiate. You know how many friends I've helped with negotiation? Do you think I just grew up when I was 7 years old and I just was a great negotiator? No, I had to talk to people. I had to really ask for advice. And now I knew how to negotiate. And therefore, I took that information and gave that to my friends. There's certain things that people don't think about when it comes to negotiating with their salaries, right? There's certain things people don't think about when it comes to, the verbiage and how to speak and how to ask for feedback and how to, demand the raise, demand what you deserve to get paid for. There's a certain way that people to do it, and people don't know how. So because I've done it and it was successful, I can tell you, this is one of the ways to keep going. This is how you create generational wealth, not only within your family, but within the world. Your voice is vital. Super, super, super duper vital. I still remember the feedback that was given to me in the past from Ms. Brown. I still remember the feedback given to me from the CEOs of the past companies I've worked for. I still remember, because all of these things help shape me into who I am today and who I really want to continue to be. You will be the coach. You will be able to guide people. And because of your presence and your hard work and your ability to not give up, your ability to have courage, your ability to fight with all the tears and all of the confusion and all of these things, when you do that, you know what it does for other people? It brings their guard down. Now they can be comfortable with you. Now they can be vulnerable with you. Now they can talk about the future and not only about the now. And that is how you help when in terms of growth, right? Whether being an entrepreneur or working for a corporation, vulnerability is important to business. The issue that we have with business is that people see problems coming, but they're afraid to talk. They're afraid to share their ideas. They're afraid to do that. They're afraid. And we need to now just kind of push that out. There's a way to do that. And if you have done that successfully, you need to share that. It's not about you being successful. Oh, yeah, well, I make all this money and I'm rich. My family's rich. I'm eating good. Da, da, da. That's not what life is about. It's never about you. That's what you really need to understand. You studying, if you're a student, you studying and continuing your education, great. If you're a chef, you looking at reviews and finding the best you know, producers for your produce, finding all of these places for your meats and your fish, and learning different ways to cook and going to culinary school is important. You love gardening, so you want to have a gardening. Do you know how much these gardening businesses make? Come on. It is not even about school. It's about what you do with the talents that God has been given to you. It's about once you have been given those talents and you have created the blueprint, you have been through all of your hurdles. What are you now doing that? What are you doing with that information with other people? How are you sharing that? How are you supporting that? How are you motivating people? You will never know your full potential until you take a chance or unless one is given to you. And you, I don't care where you are, intern, coordinator, you know, having an apprenticeship, I'm a tongue twister, having an apprenticeship with, let's say, hair, being a sous chef, whatever it is. I don't care where you are, you have the capabilities to start a change today. And it all starts with you not giving up, because you, as you grow within yourself and your capabilities, you will then have everything you need to provide that information to someone who is now learning to be in the same exact field as you are. And I just wanted to say that. And Ms. Brown, thank you so much for not giving up. Thank you so much for giving me that opportunity, for giving me the job, for showing me how it is to really be a boss, because it really elevated me when I was in that position, and everything you've done made sense. And I will always love you and appreciate you for that. And I can't talk about my success without bringing her up, because she is the first person I saw of power. And from there, I have seen other people and other things, and it just showed just my progression and how I wanted to be, and really groomed me to how I am. So we're really going to talk about, do you need to go to school? Do you need to do this? Do you need to do that? Like, what else can you do to continue? Again, I love the marching. I love the protesting. I love the donations. I love the social media presence. I think all of these things are phenomenal. But truthfully speaking, if we want to see a real change, it starts with us first. We will get back to this fabulous episode, but I just wanted to let you know that you can find Save the Good Girl on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and YouTube. There is also a chance for you to be featured on the show. Check out the link in the description to send me a voice message. In addition to the podcast, did you know that Save the Good Girl has a blog? Be a part of VIP by subscribing to the email list on SaveTheGoodGirl.com. So many options to stay connected. All right, let's get back to the episode. I feel like people think that when you are at a certain level, it's like you don't have the right to speak almost, right? Because you're not advanced, you're still learning, you don't know anything, you don't know much. And it's like, if you think about it, when you go from, let's say, an intern into, I don't know, a coordinator position, the person who is now in the coordinator position, now they can help the intern because they have passed that level. And I talked earlier about negotiating and the fact that I know how to negotiate. And I'm still learning, of course. I'm still getting advice from other people, but I do know there's a certain way to negotiate. And I was literally able to help a friend negotiate probably about $20,000 more in her salary from speaking with her. Clearly, her work really spoke for itself, but there's a way to speak to the work, because when you work really hard for some reason, sometimes these companies forget all that you have contributed. So therefore, they're going based on, oh, we're going to pay you X amount. And it's like, no, I've done this. Like, you need to like list it out, because sometimes they forget. So me kind of helping her navigate that in terms of not being afraid, because, you know, sometimes as women, we get afraid to ask for what we want. More so with men, that helps elevate her. So now she's getting paid $20,000 more, right, than what she anticipated. I think originally they tried to offer her $8,000. $1,000 more. And now you're getting paid $20,000 more, which is additional $12,000 to your salary and a role change. So just to show you how important that is. And again, as I've stated, there's a lot of activity now with George Floyd, with Breonna Taylor, with, I mean, countless amount of names of what's happening in the world. It's disgusting. It makes me sad. It makes me cry. I have a little brother. It makes me nervous with everything that's going on. I have a family member who's also a cop. So it's like it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on because I don't believe everybody's horrible, right? I think it's just it's unfortunate of what's going on in the world. It's unfortunate of what's happening. But I feel like there's a lot of things people are doing now. Like, we're getting louder, and I love it. As I've stated, the social media presence has been strong. There are brands that are now awakened, which is a little weird to me because I feel like with these brands and universities and trying to take statues down, you guys didn't know that this shit was racist before. So all of a sudden it's like a trend. I don't know. That I don't really, I'm happy of the progression, but at the same time, it's like, so you just realized that you should hire more minorities to your business? Like, you just realized that? You just realized that for your marketing team, when you're trying to market to an African American community, an Asian community, an Indian community, whatever race, you just realized that you should have somebody of that race on the team to let you know whether or not this is okay? Okay. So this is why representation matters. And of course, we can talk for days and hours about, well, sometimes they don't let you in and blah, blah, blah. I know, I'm aware. I don't want to seem like I'm trying to like hide or dance around that. I'm aware of it. But let's really talk about what we can do from the beginning, right? What we can really, really do, and how to make a change, and how to understand that whether you're an intern, whether you're a student, whether it's your first day at work, it doesn't matter. Your voice matters. You have the power to grow. And it starts with us. You need to notice your insecurities. I have a whole episode about insecurities. If you haven't listened, if you're new to the show, take a listen to that episode. It is important for you to understand your insecurities because your insecurities will also go into your work space and your growth within work as well. And we can't have that. So we need to take notice of our insecurities. We need to take notice of our history. We need to take notice of what we're telling ourselves. What is the story that we're telling ourselves in our minds? What is stopping the progression? What's really going on? There needs to be an investigation of you first. If you want to have a long-lasting change, there needs to be an investigation of you. Because there's no way that you can help anyone else if you're still in a space of I don't know, having that insecurity. No, that's not being a leader in any shape or form. And you don't have to have a strong leadership capability in order to be a leader. You advancing in life, you passing the NCLEX if you're a nurse, you passing the board, you passing anything, whatever exam you need to take for beauty school, going to college, whatever it is that you need to take, you advancing in that level is exactly what we need. We need that. We really need that. You need to keep going on your craft. You see these singers and dancers and these entrepreneurs, they talk so vividly about, getting rejected and people not believing in their music and etc. And if you think, what if Beyonce gave up? What if all of these other people gave up? What would have happened, right? They would not be here right now. So I don't care if you're a sales associate, you're an intern, you're a student, you're a gardener, you are a new hairdresser, you're an accountant, you're in the financial industry, you're in the creative industry, I don't care where you are. Your success is everyone's success. And you're not going to see that because you're thinking, oh, well, I just got promoted. What's the big deal? Someone else is seeing it. That's the big deal. That's the big deal. The next person that comes in for an interview, they're going to see you. That's the big deal. It's not about school. It's not about trade. It's about the fact that we need representation in every single sector. We need allies in every single sector. We need to work together in every single sector. We need to continue to fight the real war. There is a war, but we need to fight the war that's within ourselves first. We need to fight our minds. Being successful is also your mindset as well. There are people who are hungry. They are disciplined. Me doing this podcast, I don't just wake up and say, let me just talk. I have show notes. I do my social media in advance. I really think about what I want to say. I'm extremely intentional before I record. I am. It takes work. It's not like an easy, like, oh, let me just get on this mic and record. No, there's a lot of things that goes behind that. We need to fight the war within ourselves. And when you are able to win that battle, there's nothing else that you are not going to be able to win. I promise you that. There's a real war within our minds, within our capabilities, within how we really feel about ourselves, our success. We need to flip that. So, in terms of your passion, when you discover what that is, how can you translate that passion into your true success? You need to figure out what you really want to do. I don't care what it is. I saw such an inspiring video of someone who he had a food truck in California. No, he was selling food out of his mother's house. And he was saying that they were on like food stamps. So he would take the money for food stamps and he would like, you know, I guess get different types of food and he would just make tacos or whatever for his friends. And then his friends was like, oh, you could sell that. So then it became a hit where the cops would come and shut it down because they had people waiting down the block and it was just causing all this hazard, you know, issues. And it's like, you can't have that. So he raised enough money to have a food truck and his food truck is packed every day. This man gets a chance to do exactly what he loves. He loves what he's doing. The food is great. The people loved it. Like, it was such an inspiring video. And I love watching videos like that. I love when people love what they do. You can always tell when someone loves what they do, whether it's nails, whether it's a facial, whatever it is. Like, they love their jobs and you can tell. And I love that success story because now he's going to the next person who has an idea to have their own food truck. He can help them. He knows exactly what paperwork they need to do, exactly, you know, the rules and regulations of the food truck. Like, now he can help someone else. And that is the point. We need to keep this going. We need to showcase and highlight. I said showcase and highlight the success that we do have. Because you become that network. You know, we have LinkedIn. Oh, I know someone. That's a real thing. You are the plug. You will be the plug because you know people who know people who know people who know people. I have a lot of friends who are doing many different things. Many different things. And if I know someone who is in college right now and they say to me, Erica, I want to be a controller, I got you. Erica, I want to work in a legal field, I got you. Erica, I want to work in the education field, I got you. Erica, I want to learn how to do hair, I got you. Erica, I want to learn how to do makeup, I got you. Erica, I really want to get into the fashion industry, I got you. Erica, I really want to be a chef, I got you. Right? Because all of these people that I just said, I know. Erica, I want to be an accountant. I got you. You know, I know someone. And that's the whole point. And the reason why I'm able to say that, because all of those people that I know, they also did not give up as well. And that's why they're in the position that they're in right now. We need to be aware of ourselves and our thinking. We need to understand that once we are successful, we can provide an accurate blueprint to be that network, to be the plug. You can provide the advice. We need to also let people know the realities of getting to your level, the struggles, the rejection, and how we need that rejection to really push us, and how even with all that rejection, you cannot give up. Do you know how many interviews I've been on in my life and how many rejection I have had? Like, a lot. And I could have definitely let that stop me. Matter of fact, when I got that job for that Canadian-based company, I was unemployed and I was at my wits' end. I was applying for jobs. I thought I was close. And then I didn't get it because God was preparing me for this job. And it was so interesting because this was a new company and I was unemployed for that summer. And I was looking for a job. I didn't get an interview with this company until maybe the end of November, I would say. And it's because they were still in negotiation, right? They were still in negotiation. So finally, December, they had a job posting. I applied for it. I got the job in January. And when I got the job, I thought about like, wow, God knows what he was doing, because I was applying to all these jobs. I wasn't getting it because he was waiting for this one for me. And I don't regret a thing. That's another thing I want to say. When you are rejected, that does not mean it's a wrap. When you are rejected, it's because that particular opportunity is not for you. Had I not taken this opportunity, I don't know where I would have been. The fact that I was so young and I was already a district manager, managing multi-million-dollar businesses, growing into a regional for a luxury brand at that, as an African American Black woman, yeah, I do not regret a thing. I am so grateful for the rejection. And of course, when you're in that moment, you don't see that, but it is a true foundation to be in that space, to be rejected. And it's learning how to deal with that rejection and not utilizing that as an anchor to say, oh, well, I give up, I'm done. No, you shouldn't. You have to keep going. So when you are able to be in that space to control your mindset and understand that, yes, you are going to get rejected. You are going to be confused. It's going to be frustrating. You may not know what's going to happen next, but you do have to keep going. You being stagnant and deciding, oh, I'm not going to do anything, that's not going to help you. You have to further your experiences, talk to people, go to networking events, be involved. Because if not, you're just going to sit there and just be confused. So it is so important to be in that space of saying, all right, I'm not going to give up. This is confusing. This is uncomfortable. I don't like it, but I am going to keep going. I am going to keep pushing. I am going to find the right resources. There's so much resources online, YouTube videos, articles you could listen to. There's a lot of different things you can do to get that information. But we have to start with us. And I'm focusing on this particular topic because this is truly how I feel we can continue the march. Because we need doctors and lawyers and all of these things. We need that. But how do you get there? How do you get there? As I've stated, we are all teachers. You don't need to be in the education field to be a teacher. If you have mastered how to do something, you are a teacher. If you have mastered a recipe and you share that with your friend, you are a teacher. If you've mastered a particular area of business, you are a teacher because you're able to help the next person. You need to understand the power that you currently have. Do not take for granted the opportunities you have. Don't take for granted the rejection you've had, because the rejection pushes you to exactly where you needed to be. And I'm grateful for that. I mean, to be honest, when I was younger, I did not take rejection well at all. I was pissed. Okay. I did not like the idea of being confused, and I'm applying for jobs, and I'm just not, I'm not getting the answers that I'm looking for, and I'm so lost. And with perseverance, because I never stopped applying, I never said, okay, well, I'm done. I never stopped learning. I always wanted to continue focusing on my skills. And I need you to do the same. If you are up for a promotion, please get that promotion. When you're doing your own business, please continue. Don't give up. I'm going to do a whole episode about how to really start your own business mentally. So that's coming up soon. Don't give up. It's going to be hard. You're going to be discouraged at some points, but don't give up, right? Because you're an inspiration to someone. We don't know who. Like, I don't know. I was checking my dashboard, and I have people from Australia, India, Hungary, Morocco, all these other countries, Thailand, all these countries. Like, someone's from over there is listening to Save the Good Girl. I don't know, but somebody's listening to that. And again, I get emails, I get messages of people that said that they found value. And what if I didn't start? And honestly, it took me a while to get here as well. It did. It took me a while, because I wasn't sure exactly what direction I wanted to go in, but I didn't stop though. I really knew I wanted to do this. I wanted to have that inspiration. I just didn't know how. But when you have your representation and you're seeing other women that do it, I'm hearing about other podcasters, I'm hearing about other bloggers, and I'm seeing how they're doing it, and I love it. And I'm like, yes, I want to do that as well. I want to do it my way. So, yes, when it comes to racial inequalities and all the nasty things that are happening in the world, it is disgusting. It is disheartening. It is unfair. It is just, I don't even have the words to say. But what I will say is that we have the power to change that within ourselves. We have the power to motivate other people and push other people. We have the power to fight our minds, fight the war that we have within ourselves. We have the power to be the exact person we needed when we were younger. We have the power to be that person to assist someone. Even if you're a student and you're a senior, you could still give advice to a freshman. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how life is. Like, we are here to help each other. This is not about you. Yes, you graduated college. Woohoo, congratulations. Now the next person going into college, you have done past everything, and now they're coming in nervous as hell. And you're like, oh, let me tell you what to do. Do you think I care about college right now? I'm done. Like, so if somebody needs advice, I can be like, oh, okay, this is what's going on. Or someone who's just started their first business. They already know what's going on. They can help you with that. They're like, oh, I know what to do. This is what you do. This is how we can keep things going. This is how you can be an inspiration to yourself, to others, to your kids. You don't know who's watching you. I didn't know who was watching me. When people tell me, my friends tell me, Erica, you inspire me. And I'm like, what? Because you're so busy moving and shaking and going. You don't even think about that. Like, oh, I'm an inspiration to you. Oh, wow. Okay. Right. So with everything happening in the world, I truly believe that it is vital that we fight the insecurities. We fight the war within ourselves. You fight the naysayers. Whatever happened in the past, it's a wrap. Today is a new day. What are you going to do? How can you advance yourself? Yeah, to help the world, you need to advance yourself. Yep. But you need to advance yourself the right way to give the accurate blueprint in order to do it, to disseminate this message to the next person or people. I don't care if you inspire one person, that can still change the world, right? Because one mindset and one shift can really help someone else. And we need to really focus on that. And I'm very passionate about it because I've seen what insecurities do. I've seen what having low confidence has done. I've seen what happens to people when they don't chase their dreams and they give up too early. People want instant gratification. They want it quick. Now. I want this now. When I'm doing this podcast, and my whole thing was to get the message out there. Would I love for this to be a success? Of course. But I'm patient with the process. Okay. And now that I have started, now I'm helping other people who like, Erica, I want to do a website. Can you help me? Let me tell you, a few months ago, I had no idea how to do a website. I had no idea how to properly post things on social media and create a brand presence. I didn't know how to do that. But now I can guide you. I can show you the videos that I've watched. Like, that is the point, my loves. That is the point. So now I feel encouraged even doing this episode. And I've been thinking about this for a while. And it was just me trying to figure out, how do I want to push out my message, right? Like, how do I really want to push this out? And this was an area that I want to focus on because it really aligns with my belief system in terms of, like, why am I doing Save the Good Girl in the first place? Like, why am I doing this podcast? So I really wanted to focus on the same theme. Okay. And focus on the fact that we need to save ourselves in order to save others. And it's like, how can we be a door knocker and a host? How can we be a door knocker and a host? I will explain. We're going to get to that fully because there's a difference, and I will explain that right now. So we need to be the door knocker. We need to be the host. We need to create future door knockers and future hosts. What does that mean? Someone knocks on your door. When they're a host, they show you around. They make you feel comfortable. They ask you if you want water, if you want tea, if you want coffee. Everything is clean and ready for you to learn. And a door knocker is interrupting. So we need someone that's going to interrupt the status quo, interrupt the way of thinking, and then be a host, aka guide, and show the process. Passion comes from hardship and pain and lack. This is how passion is derived. This is where it is birthed. When people have a passion for something, you can tell there's a story behind it. When you see the word, I'm passionate about X, Y, and Z, there's a story. It's not just a singular form or a singular word, like I'm passionate about this because of that. No, there is a story behind it. And all of the hardships and all of the pain that you have and the lack that you didn't see. When people say that I was the first Black woman to have a beauty supply store in Alabama, is she the first Black woman ever? Probably not. But in her city, in her state, she is, and that's a big deal. And those people need to be celebrated. I love the activism, but to make a difference in the world doesn't mean you have to be a full-on activist. Being an activist for yourself and for others is big enough as well. We need a continuation of education. We need continued education. Pass along the information that you know to give the true direction. Maybe with less potholes. That's the point of having someone who has done it before you. I'm not saying that your road is not going to be, nice and easy and smooth, but maybe the person can say, you know what, avoid, Walker Street, because that road is crazy. Go down main lane. Go down main lane. Main lane may have potholes, but maybe not as much as Walker Street, because now you have provided that anchor of, hey, don't go down that path. I did that. It didn't work for me. So here's what I think you should do this path. And when you provide that ease of use, that person can now excel at their level a little bit faster based on the information that you have provided them. You want to be that point person. You want to create that for yourself. Be the person that you've always needed if you didn't have that. Have an open door policy. Continue to find ways to improve within yourself. Be very honest about your success and even more honest about your failures. Provide encouragement. Share the resources that you have, the programs that you've experienced, links to videos, articles, whatever it is that really helped you. A study program or a study group or whatever, a Facebook group or an Instagram page, share that. Share that. Applaud those who succeed as well. Be a true cheerleader with flips and all. Don't say, woo, congratulations. No, be a flip, dip, spinning in the air. That's the kind of cheerleader that you need to be. We need to see that. And there's a lot of people who are doing a lot of amazing things right now. I was inspired when I saw Ursula Burns, which is the first African-American woman to lead a Fortune 500 company. Okay, Lauren Simmons, 22 years old, the youngest and only current full-time female trader at the New York Stock Exchange. When you think about the New York Stock Exchange, it's white men only. So when you see that, that is inspiring. It is inspiring when you see that Barack Obama was president and Michelle Obama is president. It is inspiring when you see, all of these singers doing their thing, like Hanifa, the designer. She had that 3D fashion show. If you haven't seen it, Google it. That was beautiful. She switched up the whole fashion game with doing that. She believed in herself. It is inspiring to see, the restaurants that keeps the culture alive. I love all these different restaurants, with people expressing themselves in food and bringing that to the world. It is inspiring. It's really inspiring to see someone I went to college with, Tracy G, who's with Sway in the Morning, and her doing her own thing. It's inspiring to see her because she's always wanted to be in that field and in that spectrum. So to see her doing her thing, it is inspiring. It is inspiring to see Nikita G, right? My girl doing her own spa. That is inspiring to see these YouTubers, Jackie Aina and Tierra Monet doing their own thing, breaking into the beauty world for African-American dark-skinned women, representing. It is inspiring. It is inspiring to see all of these people that have come before us to do these things really push themselves out, really believed in themselves, went through hardships, went through heartache. It is inspiring to see my friends, single mothers, my friends who are, becoming attorneys and accountants and in business and in finance and creatives. And it is inspiring for me to see that. I need to see that. I need all these people to succeed. I need all these people to have a big platform. The bigger the platform, the higher the message. I need it. And with me having this platform, the same thing. I don't know who I'm going to inspire. I don't. And I always say that because I don't. I really don't. But it is inspiring to see what you can do. And imagine if all these people and all these restaurant owners and all these people, if they gave up, If they said, oh, I'm just one person, I'm just an intern, I'm just a hairstylist, I'm just one accountant, I'm just this, I'm just that. We need that. We need you to get promoted. We need you to we need you to excel. We need you to provide the accurate blueprint, because there's a lot of things we cannot learn from school. It has to be learned from us, from that advice, from those conversations. Take the time to really talk to people. Notice that. Be the change you've always wanted to see. It is inspiring. And I truly believe that in order for us to move forward as a group, as a people, we really need to be there for one another. We really need to push each other. We have to keep going. We cannot give up. We need to be that anchor for ourselves and for other people. We need to understand our passion, and that passion is fueled from lack, from pain, and from hardship. When people say, I've never seen this and this and that, and that's why I have a passion for this and this and that. Continue to keep fighting. Continue to keep going. I know it's hard. It's going to be hard. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and be like, oh, it's going to be nice and easy. No, it's not. It's going to be very challenging, actually. You're going to cry. You're going to get to the floor. It's going to be frustrating. You're going to get rejected. Financial struggles are going to occur. All of these things. That's okay, because you're going to push past it. And then guess what? You're going to help the next person who's going through the exact same situation as you. And you're going to smile and be like, oh man, I remember when I was there. All right. Here's what you do. Be the door knocker, be the host. Continue to educate yourself. Be there for yourself, your self-care, your mental clarity, you taking care of what you need to do for you, you going to therapy, you doing all of these things to get your mind right, you exploring yourself, you investigating your need, you going deeper into your passion is what is going to help push us forward as humanity, like just humans, period, as a human race. And I truly believe that if we continue to have that balance and understand that we are so powerful, your words are so powerful, your actions are so powerful, that someone is watching you right now, looking at you in awe, that you can be the change today by not giving up. You can be the change today by asking more questions. You can be the change today by going for your master's, going for your PhD. You can be the change today by opening the second location. You can be the change today by deciding to write that book, by deciding to do that painting, whatever it is you want to do, whatever business you want to do, switching careers, doesn't matter, right? Keep going. Be the help you always needed. Provide advice. Push people up. When you push people up, you will also see the energy, how you will also get pushed up as well, because that positive energy will always come back to you. Remember how you felt when you first started. Be that inspiration and understand that in order to make a true change, a real change, a lasting change, you need to be the change within yourself. Challenge yourself. Get support. Ask for help. Be that person. And then when you're done, continue to be a teacher and share all of the tidbits and tips and all of that you need. Because having an opportunity means nothing if you are not prepared for that opportunity. And you can be the preparation process for someone, and you may not even know it. Keep going. Do not give up. I hope you enjoyed this chat, this conversation that we had. And again, to reiterate, I know that there are so many different issues when it comes to racial inequalities and all the things that are currently happening in the world. And as an African-American woman, there's a lot with us as African-American women. There's a lot with being a woman. There's a lot with being Black. Like, there's a lot. But I will say that I really wanted to focus on this because this is how we can really have lasting change. And I know that there's other hurdles and things that we have to push past. I understand. I really do. But I truly believe that in order to have an effective change, we need to change ourselves first. We need to understand our mindsets. We need to understand our insecurities. We need to know that we are powerful. We need to know that everything that we do is not just for us, it's for other people. We need to share information, and we need to provide the accurate blueprint to really help the next person beside us. You know, we need to be that anchor. We need to understand that we will never know our full potential until we take a chance or if we're given one. And if you're in the position to give chances, please give them. If you're in the position to offer advice, a YouTube video, a podcast, this one, an Instagram page, an article, whatever it is that can really help push someone, please do so. If you notice that something is off from someone, they're dwindling, their battery is getting low, their internal battery is getting low, please be that charger. Please be that person. Please be that anchor. Please don't give up. Please continue to study. Please continue to learn your craft. Please continue to seek ways to improve yourself and your business. Please be an honest person. Please have integrity. I'm asking because all of these qualities are so important in order to have an accurate blueprint. And when I keep saying accurate because when people do things the dishonest way, that's not the accurate way of getting things done. Be a great person first, right? And an honest person first. Be a human being first, and then you will be that light to someone else. We are so powerful. Let's use that power in the right way to really help guide the next generation. As I've stated, representation is vital. It is so important. And I don't care where you are, you're here. So whatever it is that you're doing, keep going, keep doing it, go further, challenge yourself, be that representation, because truthfully, we need it and we need you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you had a good time. And if you did, let me know. Let me know your thoughts about this particular episode. Let me know how you feel about it. How do you feel like you're encouraging someone? I don't care if it's one person. Also, one thing I did forget to mention, it doesn't have to be people. It could be one person. One person is more than enough to encourage a change. So let me know how you're doing that. How are you dealing with that? If you found value, I would love to hear your feedback. Literally, I would love to hear your feedback. But thanks so much for listening. And we will talk again, as always, next week. Bye.